In this video, we're going to start section 10.3 talking about the discriminant and equations that can be written in quadratic form. So the discriminant is part of the quadratic formula. Specifically, it's this part b squared minus 4ac, which is the piece, if you remember from the quadratic formula, that's inside the radical. And the discriminant can tell us about what the solutions are going to be for the quadratic equation. I apologize here because this really should go down here. This should say imaginary down here. Okay, so there are three different possible things that could happen. So you could have two unequal real solutions, you could have one real solution, or you could have two imaginary solutions. And I put little graphs here because I want to show you, like, what does that look like on our graphs. So two unequal real solutions would be a quadratic equation, or resulting in a parabola that crosses the x-axis twice. Okay, and those 2 points where it crosses the x-axis are the two solutions that we're looking for. Okay, so the parabola doesn't have to be facing up like this. It could be facing down. We'll talk more about graphs of the parabolas in the next one, but just keep that in mind. One real solution is a parabola that comes down and it just touches the x-axis and then it comes back up again. That's not a perfect parabola, but you get the idea. So that would be one real solution. And then two imaginary solutions would be if your parabola came and did something like this and it never actually crossed the x-axis. Then we would end up with a case of two imaginary solutions. Well, you can tell this by the discriminant, your b squared minus 4ac, because three different things could happen. This is just a number when we calculate it out. Your b squared minus 4ac could be greater than 0, it could be equal to 0, or it could be less than 0. Greater than 0 results in, and again, let me move this guy here because things got bumped over on my page. B squared minus 4ac is less than 0. So if it's greater than 0, you have the two real solutions. If it's equal to 0, you have one real solution. And if it's less than 0, you have two imaginary solutions. So then we can actually work this out and figure them out for these two different quadratic equations. So it says compute the discriminant and tell us whether or not, or how many solutions we have. In this case, a is 6, b is 4, and c is 5. So when I do my b squared minus 4ac, what I come up with is 4 squared minus 4 times 6 times 5. Okay, well, 4 squared is 16. 4 times 6 times 5. What I like to do is do 4 times 5, which is 20. 20 times 6 would be 120, right? And then I say 16 minus 120, and what I end up with is a negative 104. So what is the case here? We have two imaginary solutions because negative 104 is less than 0. Similarly here, a is equal to 4, b is equal to negative 12, and c is equal to 9. So when I do my b squared minus 4ac, what I come up with is negative 12 squared minus 4 times 4 times, that should be a 4, 4 times 4 times 9. So negative 12 squared, that's 144. And then we have negative 4 times 4, which is negative 16, and negative 16 times 9 is negative 144. So 144 minus 144 is 0, so in this case we have one real solution. And that's how we would list that out. So that's what the discriminant does for us. It helps us figure out how many types of solutions we're going to have. And that can be helpful when you're going out solving. It's helpful to know, okay, am I looking for real solutions? Am I looking for imaginary solutions? Is there more than one, or is there only one? Okay. All right, that's all for this one. We'll see you in the next video.